So, Naveen, what did you think about Jagame Thandhiram?
Peter and John
Peter?
were my favorite characters in the movie, dude. The most generic white boy names I've ever seen in my life.
My favorite character in the whole film is Peter's Rolls Royce, which is a license plate.
White power. White power.
Hold on. Before we start like criticizing the film, how about we start like appreciating the certain details we like?
I was not criticizing. I just mentioned my favorite character from the whole movie.
Go on.
That's it. Yeah,
That's it.
The Rolls Royce.
Just the Rolls Royce.
Okay.
The Rolls Royce was the best character in the entire film.
That's too much. The license plate is the best character.
Just license plate. Dude, that
It's
first scene where they introduce Peter, dude, where it's like three black people and they're like pull up in a BMW. And they're like, oh no, it's Peter, and they start running away. Oh god, dude.
Hold on.
They wanted me to be one of those boys.
So bad.
London visa கிடைக்கும்.
Let's start with the good things, man. Let's start with the good things.
But these are the good things, okay? So
No. Okay. Listen. As much as I like didn't enjoy the film all that much. Cinematography by Shreya Krishna, sorry. It was actually really well done. I really liked certain frames in the film. Visually, it was very kind of like I like many of his aesthetic choices too. With how Surli has that overly stereotypical Madurai guy trip. And then as soon as he goes to London, he starts having like he starts mixing both the cultures. Like that kind of wardrobe and costume design choices I actually like. I like. It was a good mix mash of Indian and like foreign culture.
I thought the way they picturized Madurai was really realistic, especially towards the start. Like I was pretty enticed in the movie from the start.
The most aesthetic choice in the best aesthetic choice in the film was the heroine. and the Barotta Kadapudi.
The Barotta Kada was actually good, dude.
Yeah, legitimately that Barotta Kada was really well.
Yeah,
the way it had that
the whole scene was great.
Because the thing is, it's not that difficult to imitate a Hollywood set. Like it's not that difficult to imitate a London set, but it's much more difficult to imitate something like a traditional Madurai
grimy,
wedding
it has
stuff like that.
Grimy kind of feel to it, very confined, claustrophobic almost.
Yeah.
Many restaurants in like cities have that like kind of restaurants here. You know that, right?
Yeah. And I also really like the simplicity with which they introduced Surli at the start. Like, you know, he's just playing, what is it? Some game with tops, dude.
Top.
Spin. Yeah. But he's just spinning tops with like three random little kids and they're talking about like marriage and consummation and stuff. I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's so simple.
I'm not 100% sure about this, but it does feel like Karthik Subbaraj tried to like emulate Quentin Tarantino a bit.
A lot of the shots were like that too.
You got that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
and that's been there with him from in a lot of early movies also.
The way they introduce the
characters and just the composition and all, right? It feels a lot like him, but it's there, dude. It's not something to complain. It looks nice.
Yeah. It was. That's what I'm saying. The visual aspect of the film isn't really something we can harp on about. It's not really bad. Like it's excellently done, in fact. But should we get into the spoilers so soon?
No, probably not.
No, before we get into anything, you like the film, Naveen?
What I found it really, really entertaining. That's all I'll say. Like I wasn't bored for a single second of the movie. Like from a plot perspective, I thought it was horrible. Yeah, sure.
Like one word. Cool.
Yeah.
Navneeth.
Yeah.
Did you like it or not? Did you like the film or not?
I enjoyed it, but it is a very mediocre film compared to the backlog of Karthik Subbaraj's other films.
I loved it.
You loved it?
It gave me a little bit of Peta vibes and all. Chill. And even if we were not recording this, I'm pretty sure
that has your Rajini bias in it, though.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, there are a few fun scenes, dude. Like, you
Yeah,
have
no,
some
yeah,
movies
yeah.
that you
There are
watch and you don't care
multiple fun
bullshit
scenes.
about the plot.
Yeah, no, like
You
I
just
said, it
want
Yeah,
to
was a
go and
very,
rewatch
very
the scenes
entertaining
because
movie.
it's made beautiful.
It was very, very
So
entertaining
I
movie.
had a few scenes like that in the movie.
Yeah. In
So
spite of it being 2.5 hours, I didn't feel the time go by. Like I watched it, next thing I know, it was over. So it was like definitely an engaging film throughout.
Mhm. I saw it 2 times. First time I saw it with friends, and the second time I stopped right at a particular
wait,
scene because I just
you
couldn't
have
buy what
friends?
happened there.
You
You
have
have friends other
friends.
than us.
Hashtag
Yes,
lonely
I
gang.
do.
What?
Hashtag lonely gang indeed.
Drogam. நம்ம இனத்தோட
Drogam.
நம்ம இனத்தோட சாபம். You have friends
Ah,
other than me.
damn it. Shall we jump into the spoilers?
Ah,
Fine.
Okay. Naveen, why don't you recap the story for like people here?
Dude, there's a significant amount of movie I don't remember, but it's basically this
Just try your best.
there's this Tamil gangster from Madurai who's Dhanush. His name is Surli. He goes to England because he's hired by a British gangster who wants him to fight against a Sri Lankan Tamil gangster who has a huge holding of whatever particular market. I think it was arms dealing within London. So he wants him to compete with him. And so he brings him. And it's a story about how these two fight. And then, typically as in any gangster slash action movie, there's a bunch of double crossing. He works for him, he works for the other guy, then he ends up working for this guy again. And then so in the end, I forgot what Sivadas, right? The Sri
Yeah,
Lankan, yeah,
Sivadas.
yeah. So the Sri Lankan gangster, he ends up dying, and then after that, the subsequent part of the movie is focusing on how his death ended up resulting in a lot of problems for the Sri Lankans and the Sri Lankan Tamils present within London, and how he was sort of a um, a stature of like respect, and he stood for the Sri Lankan refugees within London, and so a lot of people had heavily depended on him. And one of these people, again, this isn't revealed until much later in the movie, was the girl that Dhanush was falling in love with, and she ends up trying to kill him because she was very very attached to Sivadas, the gangster, because he was helping her find her long lost brother who they had lost during travel from Sri Lanka to London.
and I think she should have left the child back in Sri Lanka and should not have brought him.
What where did that come from, dude?
That
The
was
Kuti kid, dude, he
that
was so annoyed, dude.
Dude, what? It was
But I don't know if
dude.
it's okay.
he
It
had
might
like
be just
minimal,
plain jealousy, but he had a Wally toy, dude. Such
Yeah,
a
I saw the
freaking
Wally toy.
nice
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Wally
The-
toy. Oh yeah, the dad ended up having it, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and then he brought it when he got.
yeah.
So shall we talk about the very first scene? No, not the very first. The introduction of Peter.
Oh yes, white power,
White
gang.
power
He's a
in
white
his life.
supremacist who represents the Republican Party in England. That is
Yeah, he's the English version of Naveen.
hashtag Democrat gang, dude.
Gang. Uh, Karti Subraj is a very good writer. I know that for a fact. All his previous films always have a layer of subtlety over them. But why the hell did he choose to introduce his villain with a license plate that literally says white power? That in itself irked me very wrong because I was like, I
Because it's
came in
white power, buddy.
Lord, that guy might as well have this tilted swastika stuck over his car.
Yeah, I mean
That's how subtle it was.
no, I feel like that's the whole point. I feel like the whole point of that was for you to clearly understand who you are voting against in the movie from the get-go, like from the start, and then you're like, okay, this guy is bad. And then that changes when you realize that Dhanush is working on his side. And then towards the end, you realize that entire white power first symbolizing
Kind of
scene was what established, him wanting to
It's the
support
the problem I had viewing this was the fact that it had to be like it had to be said. It had to be like told to you that he is a villain. He in I don't want to skip too much ahead, but in fact, he doesn't even do anything racially motivated until the end.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
other people have to tell us that he did things that were like motivated by racism in a flashback.
I think it's
Hmm.
because towards the start of the movie, they didn't want to establish that it was a political slash refugee slash race based movie. Because like the minute you establish that, it's about, the struggles of, you'll have a lot of people who are like, no, I just want to watch a stupid action movie and they'll just stop watching. So like, I think they didn't want to bring too much meaning into the movie towards the start, which I mean, I somewhat understand because I definitely am personally not a huge fan of political slash um, docudrama and that type of stuff. And I feel like he didn't want to enter that particular genre, which is why he kind of stuck away from that. But I mean, yeah, you're right. They did have to blatantly like point saying he's a bad guy and then
Dude,
give no context
Yeah,
who
literally.
was into the
That
movie.
was the issue at
okay,
that.
why Peter's car had white power written is the exact same reson why Surli had the Mother Misa. It's stereotype,
Yeah,
Stereotyping,
and
even
he
stereotyping.
though
had to
you're joking,
spoon
even though
feed the
you're
audience that
joking, that is extremely true.
That's
yes,
very,
I
Amma.
very
don't
well
know.
said.
I don't know about because it's on Surly. It's a part of his identity.
Dude, it's the same thing, right? You have to project your characters, and it's just okay. Instead of giving a backstory of him about him for 5 minutes, you just write white power in
Yeah,
it, and instead of going back, like having a 5 second sequence of Dhanush being a thug or anything, it's just you just give him that thing. You are rowdy. That's it. Kill it there, straight to the point.
yeah, I definitely understand why they had that. I mean, I thought
Dude,
it was
there's a
really
lot of
stupid
things
when I
like that.
first watched it, but I mean, like towards the end of the movie, I was like, oh yeah, no, this didn't completely blindside me
No,
because I
towards
had
the end, you
a bit of
appreciate
context.
that at least they didn't waste 5 minutes.
Yeah,
They didn't get an extra 5 minutes to introduce him
This,
as a racist
this,
or this.
but if you ask, this whole thing could have been like stepped over because in the immediate next scene, we do see Peter do some questionable shit.
Hmm.
Instead of it, instead of it being, it. Oh shit! I don't know how to step around this very lightly.
I don't know,
Instead
man.
of
I thought it was pretty damn funny. The
instead
minute I
of
saw
that,
the white power, I'm like, this is gonna be a solid movie, bro. I was enticed. I was enticed.
Bro, I'm getting a
okay, okay.
tattoo. White power. White power.
Okay. Uh, we talked about Peter, at least his introduction. Let's talk about Surly. So, what did you guys think about him?
Dude, great character.
I actually found Surly very,
No,
very
no, no. The
entertaining.
character was really strong, dude. He had his own things. He had his own motive to do all the stuff that he did. And then it's that typical thing that he doesn't know what to do and all that confusion shit. And then he develops a conscience, and then he gets to know that his actions have this
Yeah,
much.
no, I really like the turning point for him when he realized that all of his actions have
That's
consequences. And
usually.
when you realize he shouldn't just be a money motivated character and he becomes a
Hmm.
much more emotional human being. I thought that entire arc of Surly towards the end of the film was pretty well done.
I found him bare bones.
Really?
Hmm?
Yes,
Mhm.
I found he's the thing. The problem with well, most of the time, I as a child, I have seen commercial Tamil, be it Vijay films, Ajit films, and most of those films have this archetype of main characters being Gary Stu. You guys are familiar with the term Mary Sue.
Mhm.
No.
So Mary
I
Sue,
know
Gary
sous chef.
Stu,
Oh, what is it?
Mary Sue, and Gary Stu. It's a writing term wherein the character is basically most of his plans work out. He's almost perfect. Nothing with him is wrong, and the only thing that's can be considered as a flaw is like something added tacked onto him.
Sounds like me.
Flawless Kisso.
Very flawless.
Okay, okay, go on.
The thing with Surly was he was never at the back leg. So it really, whenever he overcame a certain point, it never, for me personally, it never felt earned.
That's like 95% of Tamil movies, bro. It's like every Tamil.
Exactly. No, but in the recent trend, be it Vikram Veda or like uh, Karnan, the characters have deep flaws that they grow with, or they use those flaws and like propel their own ideology further. I cannot I cannot stress how much Dhanush's character in Karnan and Dhanush's character in Jagame Thandhiram, while being similar, were entertaining as fuck for completely different reasons. Because Karnan's Dhanush, uh, that guy's issues and all of those were it was embedded in the character itself, the struggles he faced. For this guy, every time he tried to do something, he just like I don't. He just wins. He just enters the scene. He wins.
I mean, that's what that's what the industry wants, dude. I feel like you're comparing this movie to really, really good Tamil movies, but you should be comparing it to very average ones. Like, I feel like that's why you were much more disappointed in the movie with respect to me and Kesav.
I'll be honest. I did set my bar really high for this film.
Dude, I said it's so low, dude. Because one of my friends texted me the exact same morning saying, bro, it's the most dog shit Tamil movie I've ever watched. Have fun. I was like, fine, let's give it a shot. So I walked in thinking it would be horrible, which is why I was surprisingly impressed. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still a very movie nonetheless, but it was much better than what my friend had set it up to be. I mean, I feel like if you're comparing it to a movie like Karnan is a much more well-taken, emotional, makes a logical movie.
Very, very well done.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Like, this isn't a very logical movie, you know. It's like an everyday Tamil movie. A guy walks in, like you said, he wins every scene. He fights 35 people single-handedly with one leg.
Chupkar, Saleh.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
That's what I thought.
But you shouldn't be saying all this. That's me. That's movie lovers like me. Tamil movie lovers like me.
Okay, dude, let's be real. The top only couple percent of Tamil movies are actually worth watching. It's the same with every industry.
Hey, shut the fuck up, man.
Same with every industry, dude. Same with Hollywood. Hollywood, there's only a bunch of good movies. Every Netflix movie is garbage. What, was this? Why was this on Netflix, by the way?
The original Netflix film I saw was The Tall Girl.
What the fuck's The Tall Girl?
Oh, I saw something exactly opposite to it. I watched Kevin Hart movie.
The Shot Man. Nice.
That's fatherhood.
Oh, how was it? I wanted to watch that.
I like shitty movie. I like shitty movies a lot. I loved it.
Okay.
Also, do any of you guys know why it was on Netflix?
No, it's because of the theaters and all that stuff. No.
Okay.
Close COVID.
Yeah. Wasn't sponsored by Netflix or anything, right?
No.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Individually produced everything. The Netflix just got it.
I really do. I think Netflix offers a lots of risks that the director can't take in the normal market.
That, and I feel like with Netflix, you reach a larger range of people internationally. People in Europe.
This guy wouldn't have seen it.
Netflix. Yeah, exactly. I would not have seen it if it weren't for Netflix, dude. Like, I mean, I would have waited for it to come on some sketchy website, but still, I mean, I probably wouldn't have had the patience.
Okay, if people are watching, our boy Naveen is from the US of A.
US of A.
Of A, baby. So okay, what did you guys think about the soundtrack of the film?
I skipped all the songs. I don't know.
Epic, dude.
I skipped every single song.
I like the score and all.
My cousin didn't have the patience.
I'm a basic bitch. I liked Rakita.
Oh, I heard that song. Okay. I've heard that song before. I've heard that song before.
No. You're talking about the songs or like the whole background score? Background score.
The whole, including the whole background. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the
Rakita was the best music for this film. After that, I don't recall anything music-wise.
I'm trying to see if I recognize any other songs.
As we're trying
what
to
do you think about the whole Madurai, how the movie proceeded from Surli stage?
Epic. I like the start a lot.
Yeah. You know the whole scene,
I
like there's a white guy and he's like, "This is the guy," and then he throws a bunch of weird bombs. I don't even know what they are. They had like they
I
looked like coconuts, but that stuff is pretty cool. That stuff was pretty cool.
I like that scene a lot. I
Yeah, I
like
liked
that
it. I
scene a
liked
lot.
it. I
It's
liked it. I liked it.
crazy.
I just thought I
Yeah,
liked it.
it was an enjoyable scene.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable
It's
scene.
great.
Like I said, the entire movie overall was relatively.
Scene. Or talking about the Madurai thing, the whole
Yeah,
them getting onto the train and then
Oh, the
uh
first scene, yeah, when they
the
stop,
first show.
yeah, and then he
No,
just
no,
like
no. When he
knocks
shoots him, right? That was straight up Tarantino shit, dude. Just having something like having something
yeah,
funny
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. I agree.
the
Hard
very
agree with that.
abrupt thing.
Hard agree with that.
yeah,
The
the very
whole the way the whole the shit was, but the way they ended that scene, it felt very Indian. Like they glorified that kind of violence. He
Mm,
he like walks and rakita 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 like.
okay, yeah. I mean, that's yeah. I feel like
dude,
that a
just
lot of the
think
time that's just a transition to
if that wasn't the thing, then I don't know. I don't know if I would have appreciated the scene if it did not end that way. I liked it. I'm telling
No,
you,
no, no.
I like that way of treatment.
Okay.
These days.
For me, the thing was he did that. He did kill a guy, and even that too was just told to us.
Hmm.
The movie relies a lot on just telling us instead of showing us anything.
I mean, it was
Hmm.
already a 2.5 hour movie, dude. If you the more you show, next thing you know, you're watching a 4 hour movie.
Yeah, it has like certain pacing issues.
Honestly, I
Uh,
wouldn't be surprised if they like tried to film some scenes and then they realized they weren't going to reach the time limit, so they just backtracked and put through in dialogue to as a
Hmm.
placeholder for that particular scene.
could be. So, like, kind of freshen up my memory, right? How the hell did John know about Surly?
So there was some weird Tamil guy who worked in the office, and they
Uh,
were all brainstorming ideas as to how to get rid of the rest of the market. And they were like, the best way to fight a Tamil gangster is to fight a Tamil gangster. And then this guy, he's from
Buddy,
Madurai, he's in a
that
meeting.
one minute is one big kurma. No one understands
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That's no, because the thing is, it little there are a bunch of white people and one Indian guy in a meeting, and then on the like on a whiteboard, some white guy is writing Tamil gangster. I'm assuming that's what they were talking about. And then after that, this guy was like, "Hey, எனக்கு மதுரையில இருந்து சொல்லி தெரியும்." And then everyone was, and he's like, "He's the best gangster in the
wow,
world."
that acting was amazing, Naveen.
And then he was like, "Fine, bring him here." And so that's why they go, because this John guy is, Peter's first henchman, and so they went there together to see Surli, and then he's like, "This is the guy. We need this guy." And then they bring him back.
He's the most notorious, dangerous
Yeah, he says,
Tamil
yeah, he says
gangster I
some
know.
shit like that. Yeah, he says some.
Dude,
What's his
five
name?
minutes
What's his
alone.
name? The Tamil dude? Okay, so anyway, how did he, like, there are these, why did they not explain this though? Like, was the guy in India before he switched to London
Yes,
recently or what? How
I mean,
how did he know
he's
Surli?
from Madurai, so he
He's
obviously had
from
heard of
Madurai,
Surli.
right? And the guy who takes this Vicky to Dhanush also says, right? He's one of his old pals or something, and then that's how he takes him to the mountain gang.
Okay, okay.
Madurai. Oh,
Uh,
dude, and epic thing, epic Rajinikanth reference. When he goes and like he's like they pay him more in London, right? And then the dude with the Dhanush says, "Pesa mani London ke poide." Shivaji movie reference.
Shivaji Ganesh. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. Okay. After that, the London. I think that's where the film actually begins.
Hmm.
That's where the whole movie starts working together. So he goes to London, and then the first thing he does is he starts staking out and like watching how Sivadas
Ah.
operates. Right. In that he befriends. Should I say he befriends or does he manipulate a innocent Tamil guy to get
No,
information about?
you can say he befriends too, because
Who?
at one point he forgives him, he lets him live.
I really want to talk about that forgiveness. Uh,
Mm.
you know that guy, right? Who starts like spilling all the beans on Sivadas's operation.
Mm. Yeah,
Huh? Naveen.
yeah, yeah.
யாரா சொல்ற?
Dude, the guy who how to say? There is one guy who comes alive out of the whole gang meeting, right? There is
Yeah.
one guy who comes alive. That guy, That's the one who he befriends too.
Who befriends?
Oh
Dhanush.
my god, he's cooking up some biryani, and the guy like starts smelling it. He comes in, oh what the hell? That's tastes that smells delicious. And then Surli starts singing old ass Tamil song, and then he starts singing along with him. Does
Okay,
that ring a bell?
I have no clue what you guys are talking about. Forget. I'll catch up eventually. I'm just forgetting a scene.
Naveen, just like recap the London segment, right?
Okay, yeah. So right now, what
We
happened?
I like talked till like how Surli kind of like spills the beat, like he rats out. He like
Okay, wait, hold
tells
on. Yeah,
Peter
got it.
about how Shivadas is working.
Got it. So Surli was working. So Surli was initially working for Peter. That's why he came to London. Then he started working for. Then he interacted a lot with Sivadas, and then they develop some sort of Tamil relationship. So after that, he decides to work for Sivadas, and then little does Sivadas know that Surli is actually still working for Peter, and he's just getting insider information from Sivadas and giving it to Peter. And then after that, there's this whole scene where
Okay, okay.
they
No, no,
agree to
no.
have some sort of a
Let's
peace
talk.
treaty.
Let's talk till that betrayal scene.
Oh, okay, the
Mm.
peace treaty, like that scene,
Yeah.
like where they're all sitting in the four of them
Yeah.
sitting in a
What did
room.
you guys think about
Uh,
that scene?
Dude, oh my god. Okay, so I enjoyed the scene at the start, and then they started rotating cameras, and it pissed the living fuck out of me, dude. They rotate the camera like 15 times, dude. I was so angry. The first 5 times I was like, okay, fine, this is
six
just
six times.
okay,
Yeah.
whatever, dude, whatever. Either way, it was an obscenely large number. So I watched it the first couple times, and I was like, fine, this is okay. And then after that, after a certain point, I got dizzy, dude. That's when I was like, I'm done. So I closed my eyes and I asked my cousin to like open my eyes once it was done because I had to.
Oh
It was
Lord.
so frustrating, dude. I've never been more pissed off by an action scene in my life. It was horrible. I was so angry.
Oh crap.
So
Okay. Kesha, what did you think about that scene?
You know me, dude. I like this.
see,
I
Why
know
do
it
you
was a little bit stretchy.
you have
what
no standards. என்னடா பண்ற நீ?
No, zero. What are you
No.
saying?
Listen, I love that scene.
Ah,
Two thumbs pointing to the guy who loves that scene. Listen, the reason I love that scene was it was again a very
and you can note like with every time it goes around, right? You can see the change in expression, and it's good acting, dude. I can tell you that
it's
it's good
good
acting
acting. The
with
reason
all
I
four people in
particularly
this film.
this scene is like one of the best scene in the movie for me at least, because it's such a mixture of the stage play acting of like Mahabharatam and uh, well the modern technologies of everything that comes with cinema. The way they are laughing, in a stage play, usually when monsters Akshasa, whenever they laugh like this exaggerated version, like some shit like that. The way they laughed in that scene heavily reminded me of like such laughter from you guys know the old
And also with every
Mahabharata
revolution,
serial.
right? Every time, like with every revolution, his laugh comes down, and they start laughing more.
They start
All
laughing
that,
more. Yeah.
and
That
that was
was
really
the
good.
reason I loved that. It was again a like it was more of an aesthetical choice than a plot choice, because technically I know
Naveen,
why Surli were
Naveen has zero appreciation, and he's talking about my standards. Loose boy.
Dude,
He-
no, no,
no,
I
no.
understand why he didn't like it. What I'm saying is very
I
like it
get it,
comes
dude.
from a personal.
Lack of film knowledge is not up to
Naveen,
him, dude.
Naveen is a Peter sim.
Peter.
Peterson. Dude,
That's
no.
why he doesn't like has that Indian appreciation for this kind of stuff.
No,
But I really
I completely despise that
No,
scene, dude.
and
It's probably my least
one
favorite
more
scene in the
thing.
movie.
No, and
Didn't enjoy it.
this is one main scene where, like, he could have easily, while writing it, he could have easily changed it into him being the good guy, working with the Tamil people and all that stuff, and killing the white guy. Yeah,
that
okay,
could have been that.
that would have been really bad if he had done that.
No, I'm
And
saying
this is
that
where
could have been
no,
that, like, because
it
even
could have been that,
I
and
bought it. I bought it. Why he was helping Sivaraj. That
Yeah,
reveal
and
was
because
good subversion.
it's because Karthik Subraj's characters, right? They mostly they have a lot of gray shade. There's no black
They
or
have
white in
lots
his
of.
movies.
Gray
Gray
areas.
shade, dude. Gray area, dude. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of gray areas.
Okay.
Okay, and he is like he's not trying to be nice or anything. What
Mm.
like this character does whatever he feels is the right thing to do, and he gets paid, and his life is going to be good after that, and so he doesn't care because he does not know
There
the
is this one like there is this one particular scene that like stuck with me is that the only it felt to me okay the only reason that Dhanush ends up betray Surli ends up betraying Peter is not Peter Shivadas is because they weren't acknowledging his request about the parota shop in London.
Dude, it's not that they agreed to
No,
pay him.
because
They
no.
agreed to.
There is this particular scene where Dhanush is in the Surli is in the rally and he calls the right hand man of Shivadas and he's like, "What about that parota shop?" And he rudely, like, he just cuts the call in middle of his request.
Yeah, when they're in the car or something. But
Yeah,
honestly, I think it's less of that, and I think it's more of the fact that Peter was just offering more, and he offered them
More.
the entire street, right? Like he gave
he
him the
offered him
entire
the
No,
area
entire thing.
versus
So yeah, yeah.
one restaurant,
Now
right?
but
the
the
thing
entire
is,
street thing wasn't revealed to. He did not know it until he took him over there, right?
Wait, no,
Only
I
when they
thought I
reach the
thought
street.
Dhanush
No,
was
no, no,
informed of that deal beforehand. No.
no, 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 no. When
Oh.
they go to the street and then he tells him the whole street is yours, he's surprised there, and
Oh,
that's when
then
they
then
start dancing.
and then they
yeah.
start. I
White
enjoyed
white boy
that
and
scene.
Indian man vibing, dude, vibing.
Why I enjoyed that
Crazy
scene.
dance, crazy dance.
That's what I'm saying. That I really like the certain aesthetical choices they made with the films. It's just the plot. Okay, this is how I like saw the writing go. Okay. Oh shit. Uh, so Karthik Subraj writes these amazing scenes. Okay, yes, it's that shooting in the train scene and then the walking away. It's the scene where Surli is wearing the orange blazer and then he disarms a man and then everyone like John Wick style like has all the guns pointed at him.
Hmm.
It has that the whole rotating scene which I absolutely love. It has the dancing scene. It has that plane. I don't want to say you guys know right the plane flying over the camp.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a very striking imagery. And then you
Yeah.
have the whole ending. I enjoyed the ending part except for the very last bit where Peter fails. I feel like he wrote all these amazingly good scenes and then he tried to like you he tried to connect them with a thin thread of plot.
Dude, it's a
That's how
it's a
it felt to
writer's
me.
thing. Dude. It's a writer's thing, dude. If you've seen all of his movies, right? If you've seen all of Karthik Subraj's movies, there's always a twist in thing at the end.
It, it's true, but his twists are usually very well like telegraph.
Ah,
Like it has good foreshadowing and build up to that twist.
hmm.
This one,
This was a
this
little
one it
vague
comes
only.
in middle of the film, and then
Hmm.
I think I don't know why the way it ended. It might be considered a twist, but it was very underwhelming.
What was the twist again? What?
He doesn't kill. First of all, Peter fails. His gun
Oh, he
doesn't.
does the whole thing where he drops him in the middle of like the border of 4 countries and
Yeah,
he like takes
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
that was so stupid, dude. That was so dumb. Like those like that was no plot value at all. It was just like, oh, Dhanush has some form of mercy, and then they like threw him somewhere. I don't know. I thought it was that.
No. I have. I do think that's stupid the way that he didn't kill him off or he didn't like do some shit to
Yeah.
him. But it does have plot relevancy. I think I disagree with that one
No,
because
but thing.
because you know the dish cleaner guy
Murgeson? Yeah, what about him?
Murgesan. He literally says these paper they are the value of a person when someone's in foreign, and then you have the whole camp, like refugee camp
No, this is
stuff,
basically this, right? He is
giving
made
him a
hell.
taste of his
He's
own
made
hell.
life
Yeah, he
hell
wants
for a
he
lot of
wants
refugees.
him to realize what it is to be a
Suffer.
refugee
Mm.
and to throw
Yeah,
away that one piece of paper which is his passport.
that's have plot relevancy, but it's extremely absurd the way they did
I mean, it was
it.
pointless.
No.
Like, I don't know, it didn't add any value to the movie for me. Like it was just
Yeah,
at the end of the scene, instead of him dying, he's in another country. Like that, I don't know.
yeah.
Like it didn't do
Oh,
much for
and
me.
then a black man goes and gives him water.
Oh yeah, that was so weird, dude.
No, and there's a lot of references about it, and there's a lot of communism references. Like the shot where they try to establish Sivadas, he reads, I think it's a Karl Marx book or something. I think so. When they try, when they have a hunch that there's someone amongst them who's trying to give the information and all, and then Sivadas says, "Nama pasanga ella pulingada."
Oh, I never picked up on that till now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and at one point where Dhanush calls him terrorist, and then he gets really worked up,
Yeah,
and
and then
he's
he
like,
says, "Call me
"Sorry,
revolution." I
Yeah,
remember
okay,
that.
that
sorry,
one,
call
that
me
one
warrior,
was
not a
fun.
terrorist." It's
Yeah.
because the
But the
LTT
pulling of
are recognized as terrorists in over 32 countries or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
the pulling
organization
is
is.
kind of like that one
Mm,
actually flew over my head.
Yeah, no, I
mm.
didn't pick up on that either. So
There's a lot like that.
I didn't
Okay,
read
you were
too much
telling
into
about
it.
some certain visual comparison with like communism.
No, dude, it's just that they try to establish Sivadas's ideologies and his beliefs through certain shots. He's like, there's red, like,
Mm.
there's a red lighting, and he's just there reading a book about communism or
Oh, okay,
something.
okay. I think you
While
also
they
read the
establish it.
Periyar book, right?
Yeah, he reads. Oh, yeah, he reads a Periyar book.
Yeah.
And, I think it is lighting that. Okay, what is
Kind
it?
of like stuck to
Anything?
your mind.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh, dude. Okay. Okay, it's not that much of an intense scene and all, but there is a confrontation going on. Okay, these two are having conversation. She tried to kill him, and he's angry on her. At the background, this kutty kid, no,
Hey,
he has a
hey,
car. Okay, he has a car, and he's just doing this on appadi airla, dude. He's doing this,
hey.
and and I'm like, hey,
Hey,
patte
what do you have
asala.
against this kid, dude? There's some
I
weird
I
negative
don't know.
affiliation with this guy.
I hate him,
Bound. What if he watches this video, bro? How will he feel? How will you feel?
Yeah,
bro.
right.
என்னடா நீ?
If he's watching this, Ashwant
Hey,
Super Deluxe நடிச்ச உடனே அப்படியே ஸ்கூல் போய் சேர்ந்திருக்கணும் நீ.
wait, he came in Super Deluxe.
Yeah, dude,
Oh,
that
அவன்தான் அந்த
Rasukutti
பையனா?
kid.
Hey.
Great acting in, dude, great
Super
acting
Deluxe
in
is a
Super
damn
Deluxe.
good film. Period.
No, no, super.
Yeah, that's a super good
His
movie, dude. Oh my
his
god.
character, his performance, everything was crazy
Yeah,
in
no, I
Super Deluxe.
remember. Yeah.
I have nothing against the kid.
No, that's
I
really
have
cool.
nothing
Man.
against the kid acting, and he's just he's become annoying, dude.
But he doesn't even do anything annoying in the film.
No, I think he doesn't do anything
Presence.
significant, which is why he pisses him off. He's just
Hmm.
there. He's there.
Ah.
I don't think he added much plot value. The only thing is like whenever he has said like there was this one scene.
I think the only
Instead of
reason they
Amma, and
casted
that
him
scene hit
was
me.
because
That scene.
they needed a very strong actor for that
Oh,
flashback.
and then this also, when they hear bullets, right? This guy goes and hides under the table, and then he's like, "Appa solli tarliya, bullet sound keta, idil table I'm like, "Hey, I would, I would."
No, that scene was funny, dude. That scene was funny. I don't know what you're talking about.
I would.
Dude, I also got really like this scene hit me when she hears a plane going over the house and he goes and runs towards his quote unquote mom, like his actual aunt. And then she's like, "Don't worry, this isn't a bomb." And I was like, "Damn, it's pretty sad."
That is extremely sad. I think the film also starts with that kind of refugee ship, right? They are on a boat.
The whole Sri Lankan
Yeah,
art
yeah.
in general, I thought was pretty well picturized, especially like the bombs in Sri Lanka and stuff like that.
That's why it's a shame that she got relegated to a it got relegated to a flashback scene told by a woman whose love subplot wasn't all that fleshed out. Did you
It was
buy
possible.
Surli and the woman, heroine's chemistry?
No, I mean the whole point was that it was a forced chemistry, right? Because she
It's an
actually
extremely forced chemistry.
no, I mean
But
I think that was somewhat the purpose of it as well, because I think the whole point was so that you would evidently realize that she didn't actually care about him as much as he thought she did, and that her primary goal was to kill him. And then you realize that okay, maybe there was something. I thought the whole point of it was to seem a little forced, so I didn't have
but
anything against that thing in particular.
she did. She didn't know that Surli was an enemy until Sivadas died. So that means from before that, they were technically dating. Okay, so um, Keshav, who was your favorite character? Why don't you go ahead and tell us in the whole film?
License plate. Uh, okay, and then the Ceylon guy. That is Karthik Subraj's dad, who comes in as the guy who manages the hotel, right? Yeah, that
This guy,
guy. Like I like Murugesan. I liked his character a lot. Surli, that's it.
so,
And
you,
and
this,
and I why I think Murugesan is because you know his whole character, right, is associated with the Surli from Madurai. Like he has
yeah,
everything with him. Even when they're going out on a date or something, right? He just stops and he just goes and talks with Murugesan and all that stuff. And then later he has him with him. He brings him to his hotel and a restaurant and makes him a manager and all that stuff. And then they have a conversation at one night about
mm-hmm.
him being not having any refugee status or any kind of citizenship.
Papers,
Yeah, that thing.
identification.
That conversation, I think it was pretty significant that, and I felt it was a good character.
I really thought you'd say Shivadas because how idealistic he was.
Oh, Shivadas. Oh, fuck, I forgot. Shivadas is great. Shivadas. Crazy. And it's just how the dude played it.
Yeah,
Just
the actor
acting
was really well.
really
What's
nice.
his name? Joe.
Joju, someone.
Have you
Joju
seen
Raj.
any of his other films?
No, I've not seen.
Naveen?
Nope.
That
This guy hardly watches any movies.
Yeah, I'm not a
guy,
big Tamil movie watcher.
that guy played it so well. Shivadas. I could buy his whole character, his status, the way he walk, his talk, everything like made him out to be a leader of a revolutionary army. I mean, who was your favorite character?
Dude,
Peter.
I just realized where I've seen Peter before, dude. He's in
He's
Okay.
from
Game of
GOT.
Thrones.
Yeah, he's from GOT.
I completely forgot, dude. I completely forgot. I knew I'd recognize him from somewhere. I just Googled his name and then I saw he was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Damn.
he's from Game of Thrones or something. Yeah.
Train spotting too.
Hmm?
Train spotting. He's
I
in
haven't
Wonder
seen
Woman.
Trainspotting. I know he's in Wonder Woman. I just looked that up, but who is he in Game of Thrones? Oh yeah, my favorite character is the little kid, just because it's Keshav's least favorite character.
Very,
My
very
favorite
vulgar.
character is Wally, the Wally toy, dude.
The Wally toy.
Okay, bro.
He
Friendship
stole
cut.
the show.
Friendship ended.
As much as
No, I think my favorite character was probably Surli, just because he was the one who I found most entertaining throughout. Like consistently, every single time I saw Surli on camera, I knew that I wasn't going to get bored because it would either be funny or it would be action filled. And yeah, I enjoyed.
my favorite character was like Surly because how much of a proactive character he was. Everything that happened in the film was a reaction to Surly doing some shit.
Hmm.
That's why even though like I think his character was like a very idealized, perfect man kind of version of a character, I enjoyed it.
Something just came into my mind. And can we just talk about the visuals on the climax, dude? Crazy.
It was very good. The mansion shootout, right?
Yeah,
Did
crazy, dude.
one of my friend brought it up, and I can't it's like running in my head. This is almost the same climax as the Peter climax.
No, yeah,
I
it's the
I
same
I
thing.
didn't realize that. Only after he said that, I oh yeah, it is like he goes into the house, blows up the car, the whole shootout, everything.
Dude, say what you want, but I'm a sucker for those kind of finishes. And it was the way it was
It,
shot, right?
yeah, no. Even I love that scene. I love that scene except for the part where like by some cosmic reason Peter's gun like jammed.
Bro, it's karma, bro.
That that's the only part I didn't enjoy. I was really expecting when like Dhanush like opens it up, he starts firing, and then there's like
Hmm.
you know the Scarface ending, right?
Yeah.
I was expecting that kind of shootout, like instead of massacring, like he's some kind of final boss, but like it just plays out for Thanos. Like
Fun
Surly,
fact: Did you know? Did you know he approached Al Pacino and Robert De Niro for the characters of Peter?
the I don't
just, just imagine if Al Pacino got in and it was the
know
same
what was
climax.
actually doing the Peter.
The guy who did Scarface with the same
Oh,
gun, and then it doesn't work.
it doesn't shoot. That would be such a slap to the face.
What do you think about the climax?
And,
Uh,
and you're keeping this.
I
And the
thought it was
climax action block.
I thought it was pretty well picturized, realistic action. Nothing too over the top, unlike a lot of Tamil movies I've seen in the past. But the only thing was like the whole end scene where he happened to run out of ammo was kind of stupid.
Yeah,
Besides
that's the
that,
thing.
besides that, I had no complaints about the last scene. Thought it was pretty well taken, pretty entertaining. Sound was pretty solid. Like no unrealistic gunshots, no unrealistic punches and stuff. So.
Rare directors in Tamil Nadu that uses guns that well.
Yeah, I was about to say like that. That's like Hollywood level gun picturization, so it's pretty good. Because like a lot of Tamil movies, you tend to see people use a lot more like it's either fist to fist or it's
Yeah, it's
katti.
not
Yeah,
like
like you see knives a lot
yeah,
more just because in India gun culture is not as frequent, but in this movie you see. I think simply because it's picturized in London and stuff, you tend to see a lot
yeah.
more guns. But well done.
Okay, okay. Overall, so anyways, overall, what did you think about this film? What would you rate it? What are your overall thoughts? Go ahead. Keshav, why don't you go first?
I like the film, bro. It was crazy. Like I'm a sucker for Tamil films and these
Mhm.
Madara Karapasan films and all. And I'm like, it's chill. I'm pretty sure, like at 12 or 1 in the night, if I have nothing to do after CS:GO, I'll just go into
Mhm.
Netflix, watch one scene, watch the Barota fight scene, and then sleep off. Because I did that yesterday.
Mhm.
At two,
Uh,
no, it's not because we were doing the podcast or anything. I just like the scene a lot. Like there are a few scenes like that, and I do
yeah,
it
no,
randomly.
that's what I'm saying. The scenes as individuals, they
Mm.
are really good. Just the plot that like joins them is kind of thin. Hmm.
So I like the film a lot too. Like not a lot in the sense it's a great movie or anything. It's fun. It's fun to watch, and I think I'll watch it again sometime if I'm bored or something.
Really
Yeah, pakka. I'm a
interesting.
sucker for
Rating
these
out of
kind of
10, bro.
films.
Rating out
How
of
much?
10.
How
Rating
much
out of
would you
10.
rate it?
Rating
How
out
much
of 10.
would you rate it?
10. It's 6
10.
point,
Oh, six.
6.5.
6.5. Wow, 0.5.
Yeah,
Not
six
not bad.
point
Not
five,
bad.
and I did not give the. It would have been 7 if Ashmant wasn't there in the film.
Knocked off half a point just for an annoying
Ah,
little kid.
Oh
You
yes.
little bitch.
okay. So
Navneet,
Naveen,
you go ahead.
what about? No, no, no. Why don't you go ahead? I'll say my thoughts for the last because I think I'm the most negative. I
Okay.
have the most negative review for the film here.
So
Dude,
I
it had
walked
great
in.
potential to be a good film, bro. I
I
feel.
walked in with high. I walked in feeling like it was a 6 out of 10, and now I'm walking out with a much lower. Because now that am reflecting on a lot of scenes, so many of them were shit, dude. Like those, like not a lot of plot value. Again, there were a lot of scenes that were entertaining for sure. Like definitely overall, I wasn't bored during the movie that much. I'll say because there are a lot of Tamil movies I've seen that I've given up halfway just because they're not entertaining enough. So it's definitely from a plot standpoint, nothing, but from an action standpoint, not too bad. I walked in with like a 5.5. I'm probably gonna walk up like a 4.5, 4.5, maybe 5, but I don't know.
Okay, nobody
I
cares. Come
think
on, Navneet.
I think I'll give the film a 4 too. Yeah, I'll. And that's exactly the rating I was thinking about it because
Mm.
as the only reason it's like even 4 is because of the whole how Karthik Subbaraj managed to like mix both of the cultures of Western media and like Indian media. I enjoyed. I I already I might have said this multiple times, but the aesthetical choices they made in this film was really good. I personally like got attached to it. The wardrobe, the costume, the way everyone spoke, and Surly's constant references to like Indian films, which like made him more based in like the culture he's from, while he's wearing like some fancy ass London attire. So I think overall this film is okay, mediocre. You can watch it once. You can like play it in the background maybe, and then like passively absorb the film. But it's a 4 out of 5. It's a mediocre film. You can enjoy it at
Dog,
least
you know we're
once.
rating it out of 10, right?
Yeah, 4 out
Right.
of 10.
Oh, okay, you just said 4 out of 5, so I'm just making sure.
Yeah, 4
Okay,
out of
okay,
10.
cool.
Okay then. That's all we have for today in Binge the Cringe. Let's see you next time if
Do,
Naveen is
do,
free.